you ask me, what is Ruse Radio? Ruse Radio, I would say, it's funny because I don't think of it as really anything.
Okay.
But if I had to message somebody and explain really quick what my pitch always is it's a conversational, no strings attached podcast, like conversational podcast. You got to say conversational, and you can say like laid back, no strings attached, whatever. But it's just whatever. Because I think that's where you get the best things. I think if you let people, if you just treat it like a conversation.
Just chopping it up, dude.
Yeah.
All right, chopping it up on the old Ruse Radio.
But it's funny because when you invite people on a show, sometimes they get the idea, oh, this is going to be an interview.
Yeah.
And so I think there's it's a weird thing. Like I just kind of ignore all that and just go. And I think that I lead by example like that. But I don't know. I think it is a weird thing because I don't know how to do an interview. I can do an interview, but it's different because even if I did an interview, I'd still I'd chop it up with you a little bit during the interview. That's why I learned to do this because I was doing interviews before and I would chop it up and it was you'd get people comfortable.
With who? Or just your own
So
thing?
I started this thing called 60 Seconds With. And it was like you would do a full interview and you cut it down to 60 seconds.
Right.
And this was like in 2017, 2016.
Was it like man on the street stuff or in a
Not
studio?
really, no. It would be like I would contact, just like this kind of thing. I would contact somebody who's a creator, and then I would just do a free interview of them, like a full-on interview, and then we'd shoot B-roll and all this, and then you cut it. No matter what, if I have 10 minutes, 15 minutes of you answering questions, I can cut it down to 60 seconds and make it interesting.
It's a very fun like editing thing to do as well because it's almost like... free building with a bin of Legos.
It trained my brain how to do clips.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
literally, that experience is invaluable when it comes to clipping podcasts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because what I had to do was I had to constantly evaluate what is worthy of being in the final cut because you can't include everything. And it also taught me, like, when you do the interviews, you had to... So if I ask you a question, you have to recap the question because I don't want to pop the questions on screen. It takes up time. So you, like if I say, what's your favorite color? You say, my favorite color is blue. You don't say blue. You don't just say blue. You say, my favorite color is blue. And people usually get that. People usually were able to do that. But that's a key thing with doing those videos. I should bring it back, but I was doing them for free. I would have to charge now. It's crazy I did them for free. The amount of time I invested in these things.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I was saying, it taught me...
Well, you got Ruse heads now? You got some Ruse heads?
Roosters.
What do you call the roosters?
The roosters. They're my chickens and my roosters, and they're in the coop troop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like all that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Thank you, man.
The coop troop.
The coop troop.
You got egg shooters? Huh?
Now we do.
You got any fucking cockadoodle what's-ups?
We got whatever you want.
Hell yeah, dude. I love coop troop.
Just keep listing stuff, and we got it, okay?
No. You got coop troopers.
Koopa Troopas. I've thought about Koopa Troopas just for fun, but I don't know if I can get in trouble for that.
I want to be part of the Ruse regiment, man.
I think we have a lizard. I think because I've been on TikTok live and a lizard wanted to join the coop troop before. And I said, you know what? We'll take in a lizard.
Lizard person?
I think it was just a lizard. I mean, it was on TikTok, so it might have been a person posing as a lizard.
I'm on TikTok in a very limited capacity, which is to post my clips, watch somebody, and then when I check the next day, to just see somebody aggressively not get the bit, and they have to tell me.
Oh, dude.
They can't live without letting me know.
No, TikTok is I always say it's the meanest. Like, people are the meanest. I don't know. This is something I say that I don't think I've heard a lot of other people express.
Yeah.
But it just seems like, and maybe it's just the stuff I post and I just get this reaction.
Yeah.
But I swear, they are meaner to me on TikTok than anywhere else. They roast me in those comments way more.
They might be.
They're all 8 years old.
I was going to say they're younger.
Yeah.
And a younger generation. Like, man, I am now karmically paying for like how much of a kind of... goof teenager I was, because now like teenagers are starting to like, I've been the ass of some jokes now. I'm like, you know what? No, that's the circle of life.
Yeah.
And I'm not full mall cop energy about it or like chasing the skateboarders. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. But every now and again, if a group of teenagers are laughing at me on the train or some shit, I'm like, you know what? They're right. And when I was their age, I was buying into this. So. I would imagine maybe that's why TikTok is on the meaner side, but I've just noticed
they're so mean.
each platform has its own kind of negative person. Like Facebook has the aggressively dumb, where they almost, it seems like they go out of their way to misunderstand.
Yep.
So they're trying to find a way to get pissed.
Yeah.
YouTube is honestly pretty honest.
YouTube's my favorite.
Yeah, YouTube's pretty good. And then
YouTube, though, is biased. The thing about YouTube, you can observe it. Like, you go to a video posted by one person and a video, the same exact video posted by another person.
Yeah.
Completely different comments.
Okay.
So you gotta look. But other than that, YouTube is mostly honest. I've noticed that if you go to certain comment, and also there's fake comments. WWE's YouTube comment section, so fake.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean,
it makes me upset because it's just stuff that's so clearly bots that they are getting to say these things because it's just too on the nose. It doesn't even make like. I'm telling
imagine
you.
it's showbiz, and they're like that's a McMahon move.
Well, it's not even McMahon anymore.
I know, but like from that playbook of like that doesn't shock me.
It doesn't shock me at all, but it's something to look out for.
Because
if it's WWE doing it. It's got to be a lot of people doing it. Mr. Beast, I'm sure so many Mr. Beast comments are not humans.
Well, because it's a money-making thing.
Yeah.
And it's...
When it works. People who are humans then see that, and they do comment, and they do feed into it.
I truly believe, and I'm probably, when we're talking about level of intelligence, I might be somewhere at the top of that there bell curve. I'm not a genius by any means. But I do think... the algorithm and the outrage farming is predatory on perhaps maybe of some of our slower brothers and sisters out there, where it's like they don't have the time to maybe sit down and really recognize that they're getting got. Where I'll reread a comment a couple times and just be like, this is clearly horse shit or somebody rage baiting.
Yeah.
But like, man, if somebody doesn't have the time or maybe the aptitude to realize they're getting got, I'm like, God damn it, this is not okay.
Right. Well, and that's like I guess that's the, I don't know how to put this. Like with trolling,
sure,
it's kind of the point, but
Trolling I get, man. Trolling is the teenagers that's just teenagers on the street, but online type of behavior.
But I mean,
where they're out
I
there
think like
causing
these
a ruckus.
kids think they're trolling when like they're making these terrible mean comments, and that's how people get got. Because you'll see people who think they're trolling with no nuance at all, and they're really just being mean.
Well,
and usually if you respond to these people, like especially if you're a celebrity, like you'll hear these stories where like somebody says something mean in a comment section, you respond to them. Almost always, they're not going to respond with stuff that's mean over and over. They're not going to get in a fight with you in the comments. They're usually going to back off after like the first comment.
It's an attention thing. There's like that famous example of somebody really going after Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
And she just wheeled around with kindness like, yo, are you good? And then it like turned into you know what? I've even been on like a lower degree of that where somebody like some would-be, semi-pro or entrepreneurial company posted on one of my bits, like, something kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And instead of, like, going at it angrily, I just kind of sincerely was like, yeah, what's up? And then, like, ended up kind of becoming digital buddies with somebody who was at first kind of hostile.
Yeah.
And I think you got to sift through. You really do, and it sucks. You have to have a filter, but the minute you put yourself out there on the internet and the way the algorithms are set up and commenting is set up right now, I kind of mentally prepare every time, especially posting comedy clips.
Yeah.
Because it's like no matter what, somebody's just not going to think it's funny.
Yeah.
And then sometimes somebody will think it's not funny to a degree where it makes them pissed. And I just gear up where I'm like, all right, there's going to be some comments like that. And I genuinely, when I look at it from that perspective, I'm like, they're not wrong. Them and I don't see eye to eye on this, but they're feeling a genuine reaction to this in a negative way. So I'm like, they're not wrong. It's just not for them.
Yeah, right.
But they felt the need to let me know. I'm like, that's also their privilege at the moment,
Yeah.
So I think when you're putting yourself out there, you just got to accept it, dude. And And if pissing some people off is part of the process, I'm like, all right, I'm just trying to find people that vibe with it.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that if you're doing something meaningful, not something good, but something meaningful, then generally it's going to make some people feel some type of way anyways.
Sure.
Because it is different. Yeah. And so I think it just comes with doing things that are actually pushing boundaries and doing... Like, you have to get used to that if you actually want... If you see yourself as some person that's going to do crazy different things, then you just have to accept that people are going to get upset. Because it's going to happen. There's no way it doesn't if you actually are doing stuff that's different.
Yeah.
People don't like things that are different.
I feel like we could shift easily into the... this is the art side of putting something creative or meaningful out there. Where it's like, I don't know, you have two people look at the same piece of art and it could absolutely move heaven and earth for one person, and another person would be like, this is garbage.
I think that's what's awesome about art. And that perspective is why I know, it's kind of like what you said before, I just know that things aren't for me.
Sure.
If I don't like something, I try not to tell myself, oh, this is bad.
Right.
I try to tell myself, that was not made for me. It's okay.
I can agree with you there.
Because I'll catch myself getting like, oh, I don't like this because of this and this. I'm like, no, that's not.
Yeah, there's objectivity and subjectivity. I will say every now and again, you do have to keep some bedrock foundational, like this is horse shit.
Yeah.
Because if something's hackneyed or just actually bad, maybe you should have a capacity to call that out still. But I've recently had to dial back, like openly talking about maybe comics I don't like to people who aren't comedians.
Why?
Oh, well, because it's just like I forgot that it's like, oh yeah, it's not for me. And it's not that they're a bad comic even. It's just like a style of comedy I don't like.
Right.
And so I'll kind of be like, yeah, they suck or this sucks, and then I have to stop and go. And one of the things that really hit me with it was like I was with somebody I didn't know that well, and then a buddy of mine who's not a comedian. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I don't really like that comic, and kind of went into it, and this kind of acquaintance's face like sank for a second. And then my buddy who wasn't a comic was like, no, they're actually like still good on stage, and like it'll be a good. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Like,
because they don't understand fully even what you're saying, because they don't see that side of it. Like, you're talking about them from a comedian's perspective.
From a comedian's perspective, and then just from a perspective of like false authority. Because I'm like, just because I do it doesn't mean I have a taste for it any better than anyone else who enjoys consuming it.
So they might perceive it that way.
Yeah, and I had to check myself on that. I was like, I was being maybe not a hypocrite, but definitely being an asshole talking out of pocket with like a false level of authority on speaking about it. And like, it's almost like it was like a Santa Claus isn't real moment, which I think Santa's real still, but...
Me too.
Yeah, there you go.
Easter Bunny.
Easter Bunny I'm not sold on. I think that's just Jesus fucking
We'll get him by the end of this one.
Yeah,
yeah. Easter Bunny's totally real. Dude.
I want to believe.
Okay, well, there you go. We're halfway there.
I'm just saying, I want to believe. The truth is out there about the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. I think Bigfoot might be the Easter Bunny.
Okay.
Think about it.
That's fair. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I want to.
Okay.
Again, I want to believe.
I've got buddies who work in the Michigan DNR, and they swear by it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
See, I mean, when I say I want to believe, I mean 100% want, because I don't believe in Bigfoot. Okay. I want to, but I don't, because just, it's one of those things. But then I think about it, and it's like, I remember earlier this year, maybe it was last year, I saw...
Dive deep. What's flipping?
This is not even crazy. This is totally normal. I saw a picture of a cougar in northern Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you never see them on photos, but everybody says they're there, and you never see them.
Yeah.
So then it makes me think, like, maybe, even in this world we live in now, maybe you could still have a creature that is in this world, just somewhere in some place that's only been spotted. So, because that's what gets me. You would think in a surveillance world where there's just cameras all over the place, we all got phones on us. Sure. How is there not, like... I mean, UFOs, you have some videos that look okay, but that's always the thing too, is why is it always blurry? We have cameras everywhere. How's there not a good Bigfoot, a good UFO? There should be good everything.
Right. So well, we're getting there.
We're getting there. I want to see Bigfoot. Also, Loch Ness Monster. Excuse me. We just have one camera that's shitty in the. That's it. How about we throw a whole 10 cameras all throughout the.
Pretty. She's humble. She went to ground after that. She's like, yo, this isn't about me. I just want to sleep in this lake. Yeah.
I don't know how she works. No one knows how she works.
Most of the Bigfoot anecdotal evidence where people are like, I swear to God, I saw it with my own eyes. Probably black bears walking on their hind legs.
Exactly.
But I don't know, man. Like,
it's probably how it started.
Yeah.
It's probably people on drugs in the woods.
Most definitely. Yeah, that'll do it.
That would make the most sense.
I've done drugs here walking around the city. I'm like, pretty sure that was a Sasquatch. And they're like, Lou, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yep.
My bad. I just ruined a quinceanera.
Yeah. All because you thought you saw Sasquatch.
Yeah. And turns out it was just the PCP turning on me. Yeah. But
that'd be crazy if you were just in a beef jerky commercial.
I think I could move some bags. I got a Jack Link body.
Jack Link? I was trying to remember what company did that.
I think I'd be good in old Trapper commercials.
Honestly, that's pretty wild to just do Bigfoot commercials. Yeah. They're the only company that thought of that. That's a great idea.
Fucking with Sasquatch? Yeah. That's so pretty good.
That's what it was, too. I forgot that. Fucking with Sasquatch. You're pulling pranks on Bigfoot.
That was probably the working title, but for commercial TV, they had to change it to Messin With Sasquatch.
Oh, that's so funny.
But I'm like, oh, yeah.
Then that was kind of a limited run. There was I don't know if you remember this, but there was a thing. I don't even think it was American, but they would do it every year, and it was top commercials of the year.
Oh yeah,
and
that used to be something you could buy on a VHS back in the day. Yeah.
And they would do a countdown of all the commercials, and that was when commercials were actually commercials are okay now, but I feel like commercials used to be a little bit more creative. It's kind of like movies.
Are you still seeing a lot? Because I'm lucky. The few streaming services I pay for, I go premium on. And I use YouTube so much that I don't have YouTube TV, but I have the whatever premium.
Okay.
So I don't see like a ton of ads anymore outside of podcasts. Or if I go home to my folks' place and I just watch cable TV and you see commercials for the first time in a while, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Dollar Shave Club made it to Fox News? Like... Okay.
I don't know.
BetterHelp is on the TV?
I just feel like, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking of, it was top 10 funniest commercials was the thing I was thinking of. Because, I don't think commercials try that hard to be funny. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because, here, by the way, you want to reach over and pop that door?
Let her out?
Oh, there she is. There she is.
Kitties.
And then you can pop that door back. But anyway... Well, funniest commercial, because there was this commercial where I think it was like a squirrel farts, and that was the number one. There was a commercial where, if you remember the guy, he was selling candy. I think it was Skittles, and he was dressed like a leprechaun.
Yeah,
he was, dancing in the subway or something like that. Yeah. I just feel like commercials, they used to try to be funnier. Now it's just commercials that are trying to wow you with editing and do crazy stuff.
Did you ever see the bad acid trip that was the Quiznos sub commercial with like hamsters?
So. Was it
with human eyes, and it was just eat Quiznos subs, and it was they did like it was a horrendous song. Truly, it was like if you've ever done psychedelics and saw that commercial, you'd be like, am I having a bad flashback right now?
Yeah.
But it was like viral marketing during like this? Young internet. Like it would have been 06, 07.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah, truly. Like Pat Tillman had just been killed by the government, and Quiznos subs was like, we got to move some sandwiches. Yeah, it was a wild time. So, you a Tillman fan?
I don't know much about him. What happened with him?
Pat Tillman. I think he was a linebacker for the Cardinals, and he was an NFL player that dropped out of the NFL and joined the Army during like the height of the global war on terror, and then kind of was like, I don't think we're actually doing good stuff, and everybody's like, we can't. Well, everybody, if you believe in deep state stuff, they were like, we can't have this former NFL star start to say this war is not great. So he died in some pretty conspicuous friendly fire circumstances in Afghanistan.
I mean, you know...
And then Quiznos subs, again, had to move sandwiches after.
Was he associated with Quiznos?
You know, at this point, it's just a gut feeling, but...
I'm pretty sure.
Listen, the yarn is not connected, but me and some guys are working on it, and... The Tillman, the hot sub sandwiches phenomena, I'm not 100% on.
Maybe bring it back. Maybe bring Quiznos.
I thought you meant Tillman. I was like, brother, I wish, but I'm not that good at voodoo, and I have to imagine he's good and decomposed by now.
I don't know. I'm saying just use his likeness. Maybe you got AI. Maybe just...
we could try, but...
throw him on a box of Wheaties type of deal.
You know what? I'd put him on there.
Just put his face on a box. Yeah. And just the Tillman edition.
The Tillman Wheaties would be great. Like, just like Wheaties, you'd be like, I don't think these are that good for us, and then they'd be tearing up the Tillman boxes.
Yeah. I think it's with Michael Jackson. I remember being like. How old was I? I had to be like 13 or 14. This is when I was getting into Illuminati and all this stuff, right? And there were these videos where it was Michael Jackson exposes Illuminati or whatever. Yeah. And it's like Michael Jackson on a stage saying there's these people doing these things and it's all bad. And then he dies like 6 months later. Like Michael, it really is true. There's clips of Michael Jackson trying to come out and say there's people taking advantage of him and things that are going on.
So... I don't. Yeah. Here's the thing about the Illuminati.
It's weird. It's very weird.
I don't think there's like.
I don't think it's the Illuminati.
I don't think it's necessarily what it is. It's just money and power seems to concentrate at the top. Yeah. You know, and when the social circles around that amount of wealth and power are connected, it's like call it the Illuminati. What it is just a hyper elite group of people with money and power that are probably into some fucked up shit, because I don't think anybody gets more normal with money and power. At best, you stay who you were. Yeah. At worst, you're like, wow, turns out never-ending resources can really let your freak fly if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the true test of who you are. Yeah. Is something like that.
Yeah, I think the best and worst thing for some people is like, winning the lottery. Yeah. And it's like, let's see who you really are. And I don't know, man.
And you don't know until you're in that situation. Like, you could tell me a million times, if I won the lottery, I would spend it on this. But you don't know. Yeah. Because once you win, that's when you make the choice. I know so many people who I feel like they would say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But if they actually had that money, ain't no way. Yeah. Just because, it's so hard. Like, if I said, I'm going to donate 90%. If I told you, I'm going to donate 90% if I won all that money. If I had $10 million, I would donate 90% of it. Would you really? Yeah. Most people would not do
I was going to say,
like
I get what you're saying.
But people that's a grand example. Yeah. But people do that with all sorts of things. Sure. They'll say, "Oh, I would give back. I would put so much money into this." Like, you say that, but it's in practice. It's a lot harder to do those things.
I agree. I fantasize about it a lot because I'm still delusional and hopeful I'll make it.
I will buy my mom a house. That's mine.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
Buy my mom a beach house.
There you go. I hope that happens for you.
Yeah. And I think that is like it. That's like the one thing on the checklist. It's like, okay, if I did that, house? I did it. Yeah. So mom's got to stay alive. Give me 20 years, Mom, please, dear God.
All right, let's do the thought experiment. What if you win $1 billion? What are you doing?
Oh, that's $1 billion?
Yeah, $1 billion.
Oh, holy shit! See, that's so much money.
I feel like that is now the new amount where like you never have to think about money again.
I guess because $1 million, I still have a limit. $1 billion's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I would buy my mom a beach house. I would try to give money to at least like my sister, because she is living at my dad's house. I'd try to give her a bunch of money just to deal with that house. Yeah. I would give money to family members, but I wouldn't give money to everybody, and so I couldn't say. Because that's the problem.
So you'd be gifting a lot of money.
I'd be gifting money to people.
All right, but let's go beyond just gifting.
Okay.
Yeah, what would you do?
Oh, well, I mean, I would definitely use it for music. I'd use it for this for sure. I mean, this podcast would be in like the most immaculate studio. There would be at least one producer and be a friend of mine, somebody I could trust. And I would just, if I have that much money, fuck, dude, I'm just employing him at that point. Sure. So that's awesome. That's good for everybody. Matter of fact, everybody I employ would be people I know that I could just trust, that I could get to do things. That would be the way to do it, ideally. if I could just pay all my friends and then just have them be on like a team with me. So that, and you could do that if you had money.
So you kind of got Mr. Beast adjacent vibes there, but
I mean, just because
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I will say sometimes paying your friends to do a job is tough.
You gotta be careful.
So you're better off when it comes to like gifting money. Truly, just gift it. If you can, just give them the money and move on. Because expecting something, even if it's through employment, if it's a buddy, can sometimes be a son of a bitch. That's why I say don't go into business with your friends. But I so I get that. What I'm saying, what I'm getting from you is like it's a lot of good-natured, altruistic stuff. But like, you got any demon stuff you want to do? Like. And
I would have people.
You don't listen. I'm not trying to like psychoanalyze you. I just want to.
No.
Like
that's
you
a good
look
question.
at like what a guy like Diddy does, or you see the demons out there. Where it's like that's one example of money and power. Where I'm like, that guy was in a snappy towel, whooped a woman's ass to the point where she's unconscious. We have video evidence of it. And that's not what he was on trial for at all. We're like, that's old news.
Okay, well, that's a great point.
But I just mean, like, is there some depravity that
the Diddy
you would get into?
The Diddy in me.
Yeah, the Diddy in you. We all got a little Diddy in us.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So I wouldn't care what anyone says about me ever anymore. So that would definitely be something about my personality that would probably change. Like, because now I sort of have to care. Like, at this point in my career. Are you saying
no empathy? Are you faking empathy right now?
No,
psycho?
No. I just know that if I had $1 billion, I would be thinking differently about like, oh, I need to make a good impression on so-and-so. Like, really? I wouldn't really be worried about that anymore because there's no social status I need to achieve with anybody. I have $1 billion. It doesn't fucking matter. But like, not saying money is everything, just that. Like, if I'm trying to climb some social ladder, if I'm trying to make people like me, I could just give up on all that because I got $1 billion. I don't need to make anybody like me. That's not a goal anymore. I could literally pay anybody to just come on a show or do anything. I don't have to fucking make anyone like me anymore. So I think that if that was the case, I'm not like faking anything now. No. I would just give up on any form of like holding back on anything.
That's very interesting and beautiful. I'm like, wow, all right.
I know it's the case.
That's your unchained social brain.
Can you imagine if you just didn't have to worry about that anymore? I mean, I feel like that's what happens when you have $1 billion. Because your friends are your friends. The people who are that's the other problem with having $1 billion fucking dollars. Fake friends are going to be way more prominent. For sure. Yeah. So your friends are going to be your friends.
Well, first of all, it's not that I've ever been in an opportune situation, but the few times in my life I've been in a position where people have clout sought from me, I've been pretty good at like sniffing through that. And I think, let's say, same scenario where I have $1 billion, or it's an insurmountable of wealth where people would want from me. You got to sift through that on your own. Now, the way you were talking about it is interesting because it's like you wouldn't give a shit one way or another. I would want to meet somebody where they're at still.
Well, I
would still want to meet people where they're at. And I don't know. I've met plenty of people that have gotten money and power. And unfortunately, and I'm not putting this on you.
Yeah.
They kind of turned out to be shitheads. Yeah. And I will say this. Like, that's what can be exposed through money and power. Life isn't always just a perfect up and down scenario. And there will be times, no matter what resources you have tangibly, you'll be down and out.
Yeah.
And if you're not aware of being having negative character traits, it'll come back in a bad way sometimes.
Well, I mean, perhaps it's a hard dilemma to have if you had $1 billion, because I think struggling and needing that upwards trajectory and trying to gain momentum, all those things give you a sense of perspective and still keep your ego in check and all that. If you just didn't have any of that anymore.
Truly a struggle is a good thing.
Yeah, in a way.
If you're willing to learn from it.
Yeah.
If you're strong enough to learn from it. And, dude, I don't mean to go in on you. I love what you're talking about. And, like, I'm picking up what you were putting down because I'd be fucking lying if I said I wouldn't.
It's a hard question. I'm trying to give you my most honest answer.
No, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? Because and I guess what you're making me think about is the fact that I almost don't even want $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to. That's why I say that about like struggling and wanting to. Because if I didn't have to worry about that anymore, that would just kind of suck.
Can I one follow up on this? Where would you live? Where would you choose to live?
I would have I would have multiple homes in multiple places, and I would move around wherever I want to be.
Yeah.
I'd probably be here during like summertime or just around like Michigan, Chicago, because I'm from Michigan, so I have family there. So I would jump around Michigan, Chicago, all that. And then I could go down south when it gets colder.
Okay.
I've never really been to LA, so I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't like it there, but maybe
LA's cool, man.
Yeah. Maybe I'd go there.
It's you're gonna have to see if you like it for yourself. It's sprawling. And the traffic can be a nightmare, but I'm like, no, there's a reason it is a gem of California and a lot of industry and, weather-wise, pretty beautiful scene. So yeah, I could definitely see that. But that's interesting. So you would have multiple.
Yeah, because I feel like even now I'm limited. In doing this, because I'm only in Chicago. I don't really want to do a virtual podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
I get it.
Kind of just hope that comedians are coming to Chicago and they'll come on your show, or you hope that people live in Chicago, because otherwise they're probably not going to travel out just to do a podcast. Unless you have a big following and it's worth it to them, or they're a friend of yours.
Yeah.
There's ways it can happen, but for the most part, you're not going to get people to do it yet. Yeah. So that would be great if I could just be anywhere. That's why there's podcast studios you can rent out in all these major cities, because that's exactly what it's for. I'm visiting a major city. Oh, hey, so-and-so, do you want to do this podcast? I'm going to be in New York in 3 weeks. Oh, yeah, that'll be great. Yeah. That would be the way to do it. But if I just had a fucking place in New York,
would you want to keep doing this?
Oh, yeah. This is the thing.
Awesome. All right.
My goal is 4,000 episodes, and that's like 30 years from now at like the pace I want to go at.
What are you at right now?
We're at 195. 195.
Is this 195?
This is 195.
Oh, so we are doing episode 195.
Yeah.
Pretty rad,
We're getting there. That's almost 5% of 4,000.
So close, dude. Hey, you know me, though. People look at me, they're like, this guy's in the upper 5%. I'm like, oh, yeah. I was in the before 5% club, absolutely.
I just placed a ridiculous number because, for one, I'm thinking 10,000 hours, 2.5 hours per podcast. That equals 10,000. That's not like a real thing. It's not like you have to stick to that, but it's just where I can make this random number up from.
Are you also kind of? I hate to burst your bubble, but I do believe the 10,000 hours thing has become kind of demoted to a pseudoscience.
I don't think it means anything. Okay. I just think that there is an idea to doing something for a really long time and it being... Okay, so for comedy, it's what I respect about comedians is that they're constantly refining what they're doing and trying to improve and do new things. It's frowned upon to do the same set for a year, for 2 years, just do the same things over and over in a row. Whereas musicians don't so much have that. They don't have that built in of constantly making new things and creating. And I think that's a very essential thing.
It is a weird difference between the two performing art forms.
Yeah.
Where I've watched live versions of songs I like, and over the years you can just see the glow leave the musician's face.
Right.
Where it's like you sing a song so many times in a row throughout your life, where it's almost like if you were locked in a room saying the same word over and over and over and over again to the point where it loses its meaning.
Yep.
I do love in stand-up, especially the way I perform, it's like, dog, no set is ever going to be the same.
Yeah.
And it's
do
just...
you do it like you write jokes kind of, because Jason Melton, he told me once.
I love Jason.
Oh, you know Jason?
I do. I haven't, since being here, I haven't seen him yet, but I've known Jason acquaintances at least for years. I love him. And he's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason's great people.
Shout out Jason. Shout out Ass to Ass. Shout out Zach Albers. And then Jason and him have a new podcast now.
Zach Albers is good people too. I'm just starting to get to know him as well. Dude, he's one of those guys that's like, I envy how effortlessly funny he makes it look. I don't know if
I think the people who do exactly what you just said are the best.
Yeah,
the people who can
Zach
do that.
Albers is definitely one of them where like on stage, just the way he sounds and carries himself is incredible. And then I serendipitously bumped into him the other day with some other buddies when we were on the beach, and just chopping it up with him for a second. I'm like, this is just a funny, cool dude. I really like Zach. So, and you know, I'm still getting to know this scene. So it's like, it's fun to be a bit of a wallflower and just kind of see people where they're at.
Yeah.
But anyways,
well, you talk long enough for me to remember their podcast name, so thank you. Yeah. It's called The Incubator. That's what Zach and Jason's podcast is called, is The Incubator.
I'll have to check that out.
But
that's very cool.
Back to why I mentioned Jason.
Yeah.
Bullet points. He told me that he writes in bullet points, and so when he tells his jokes, it's like, it's never the same because he's just kind of got a rough build of the joke, and it's always going to be a little bit different. Is that how you do it?
I'll get into how I do in a second here, because I'm similar to that. That's how I make my set lists anyways. I literally write a bullet point and then the joke, and then I'm like, all right, we'll figure out how to get there while I'm on stage.
Okay.
Patrice O'Neal used to talk about how he and a lot of good comics that he respected is like, you keep your punchlines the same, but and I'm paraphrasing, but you keep the punchlines the same, but how you get there can always be a little bit different. And you write from stage and maybe riff a little, and you can find like a freer, funnier way to get to the punchline.
Right.
And I think a lot of guys who write in bullet points do that. They have the general idea of what's funny up top, and then they're like, all right, I'm just going to talk and riff. Because if you're a funny person, you can just talk and riff and then find the bit out. And in stand-up, I think it's called writing from stage. And a lot of people will write from stage where, like, I have something I think is funny. I'm going to talk about it to a crowd on stage until we're all laughing together about it. And I know Louis C.K. used to write like that. Bill Burr does as well. Weirdly enough, I'll do that a lot. I riff a lot and then find something. But I'll write in a notebook, kind of verbatim. And I'm not a great writer, so my writing verbatim's not super funny. Then I take it to stage, perform it, riff on it. Then if I'm feeling scrappy, I'll rewrite it in different ink. And then it's all horseshit because I end up riffing on stage and writing from stage again. But I do both. Yeah. I genuinely try both. I love freehand writing in a notebook because stream of consciousness, you just let it ride. Sometimes I'll get manic with it where I'll just put a bullet point over here, like that's something funny. And then like keep writing and then trying it on stage. And then that's my notebook. But then I also write my set lists out on index cards. I'll see what jokes I did that night, circle the ones that did well. Yeah. And then kind of...
You record it?
What's that?
You record the set?
Yeah, and I record it. I'll listen to it. When I was a younger comic, I would listen to it immediately. Like on the drive home, or when I got home that night, I would listen to it and be like, how'd it go? Now, I probably haven't listened to a phone recording in years. I still record every set on my phone. Probably haven't gone back and re-listened to one in a long time, except if I really riffed something where I was like, how did I say that? If there's something where I'm like, all right, now I'm using it just for notes. Huh. But yeah, man. And that's probably to my detriment. If I went back to how I was writing when I was 1 to 3 years in, if I kept that moxie, I'd probably be doing better.
How long have you done?
I'm coming up on 11 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So 1 to 3 years in, you think, what were you doing differently then?
So I would write every day in my notebook, and then I would listen to the sets after I performed them, sometimes even transcribing those sets, and then highlighting where I got the hardest laughs.
Right.
Focusing on that, and then I'm like, how do I make this funnier?
And that was working?
It was, yeah.
But why'd you stop doing that?
Because I just got better and more efficient without having to do that.
But now
it's like, if I went back and did that, because it's like I got lazy. I was like, okay, I didn't need to do that anymore.
Right.
Where, I do have moments and spurts of energy where I do that again. And it's like, yeah, anytime I feel like I suck at comedy now, it's because I'm not writing. And it's because I'm not doing the things that help me get better. Yeah. And that's its own mental health bullshit that I'm dealing with, where I'm like, why am I not doing this and staying on top of it as much as I should?
Right.
But it's like, yeah, I now know why I'll be in like writer's slumps or shit like that. And I'm like, it's as easy as holding yourself accountable to doing the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's, a lot of people talk the fucking talk, myself included. But when I'm talking the talk and I'm not doing the work, I know I'm not as funny on stage. I'm not as confident on stage, and then your self-esteem takes a hit because you're fucking lying to yourself.
Right.
And that is tough in any industry.
Yeah.
When you lie to yourself and you just talk the talk, and maybe you have everything, but it's like, nah, man, the most unfun parts of what make you good are the most important parts.
Well, and I think that people who lie to themselves, an audience can understand that you're lying to yourself.
Sure.
So if you're lying to yourself on a stage, especially in comedy where you're supposed to be as honest as possible, hopefully. I mean, even if you're like playing a character, if you're lying to yourself, you have to believe the character. People who lie to themselves.
All right. I was gonna push back on that, but now I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, you just have to believe in what you're doing.
Right.
And if you don't believe in what you're doing, it's a sad thing to watch.
Yeah.
You can even bomb and believe in yourself, and that's not too bad.
No,
but if you bomb and don't believe in yourself, that's a painful watch.
There's a level of self-awareness with that, which is humanizing, and I've eaten it plenty of times.
Yeah.
But I will say, now even getting better at bombing, if you can acknowledge it in a funny way, that is still funny.
Yeah.
And worth getting good at. But you're right. If you're bombing and then you don't know how to acknowledge it, or you're lying to yourself and lying to the stage, I'll see people just icebreaker through bad sets.
Yeah.
Where it's just nose down and they keep doing their jokes and they're not. And that's brutal. That's
brutal.
It's brutality. I'm like, brother, this is actually nails on a chalkboard in everybody's brain. You might just be saying words, but it is affecting the brain chemistry the same way a wretched noise does, which is what most comedy is.
Yeah.
Is wretched noise that nobody wants to hear. And every now and again, you're like, oh, there it is. That's good stuff.
I agree with that. I mean, my theory is that in all fields, it's about 90% of everything, maybe even 95 to 99, that is mediocre. And there's the 1 to 10% that is actually decent and worth looking at.
Yeah.
And you just have to learn to sift through everything to find those things. And the problem is now we have such an overabundance of everything right in front of us all the time. More than ever, you really have to look for it. You have to find the things you want to look for.
Yeah.
Like the things that are, what should I say, above and beyond, the things that are that would really speak to you. You kind of have to look for it. You're not just gonna stumble upon it.
Well, I think mediocrity is having its day.
Exactly.
Which is the most massive appealing stuff is getting the most attention because it makes the most sense to an algorithm.
Yeah.
And that I'm not going to sit here and speculate the morality if that's good or bad. I think that's just what's happening.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it does make finding the unique creative voices in any field kind of harder to find. But I will say, it
does the opposite at the same time too.
Sure.
It makes them easier to find. Because you can also, if you learn to manipulate an algorithm, which is annoying that we all feel like we have to do such a thing.
Yeah.
But if you learn to do that, you can make your content easier to find than you could in the world that we existed in previously.
I was just about to say.
There's both.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, actually. You nailed it. It's like mediocrity is the most massive, appealing, readily available thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you want to find something good, it is out there and easier to find than it ever was before. And I'm lucky. I've been on the receiving end of that, where like some folk fucking, all over the world, not many, but a couple of people are like, holy shit, I love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Please keep doing this. I'm like, awesome.
To me, that's like the most meaningful thing.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. And that also keeps me going at this point, because I'm like, all right, I don't need the world, but I was like, I don't know, a few more thousand people like that, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I want to always get better.
Every single one is success.
Yeah.
Every single because in my mind, that's changing the world. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's just one person at a time.
Yeah.
Like when someone, and to me, it's also so cool because it's always things that you don't go into something thinking, oh, this is going to affect so-and-so. You just don't know. And then someone says, oh, keep going. Like, this affected me this way. And you just can't predict stuff like that. You don't know how it's good, what it's going to mean to people.
Right.
And it just reminds me that. When someone like, oh, I loved this song. Oh, I loved this thing you said this time. Oh, that set you did that one time. Oh, I'll never forget that. Da-da-da. Whatever they say. Yeah. It's, to me, that is the thing that it's all about, because those moments stack up and those mean a lot more than you realize.
I agree with that a lot. And kind of going back to what you're saying, it's easier now than ever to find what you like.
Right.
I think it's weird because, it's so easy to just talk algorithm and like, the algorithm, the slop
I know.
factory.
I try not to bring it up. I hate algorithms so much. I think they are ending the world, but I try not to bring it up because I know how generic of a conversation it is.
But here's the thing. You're right. It's very easy to trash on them.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, sometimes I force myself, if I'm going to fucking slop rot, let me actually engage with this. Let me look up something I find interesting.
Yeah.
Videos I want to see on YouTube.
Right.
Things I want to see on any social medias. And then I actually make folders. I go in and save stuff into those folders on those apps. And then sometimes I will just go on those apps and rewatch or go back to those things for inspiration. And that's when I'm like, oh, no, this can be a good thing.
Yeah, because that's different than doom scrolling.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, it's the same way with all the music streaming services.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you can let an algorithm let it rip. But I'm like, you know what? There's also full albums on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go find those B-sides on your own. And I love doing that.
Well, okay, but think about it this way. Because, I agree with everything you just said, but I also agree with what you said earlier about people who are not at the top of that bell curve. I think that I'm kind of a fool when it comes to social media, right? And I think that what I think about phones.
In what way?
Well, I'll explain. Yeah. So I just got into, you'll see all these books surrounding you.
Yeah.
I just started probably reading books within the last, I don't know, 2 years, because I was like, oh my gosh, books, there's information in these. And what I realized about books is it's not the information on the internet is stuff from books, and you can find stuff out on the internet.
Yeah.
You can find all that stuff on the internet. Maybe you can't find the full book and every page by page, but you can find most of the stuff in the book on the internet. That's all true.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is a book is this curated stream of information all coming at you page by page the way it's supposed to be. There's a narrative. Yeah. Whereas the internet is this massive everything that you have to sift through. And it's so easy to get sidelined and go the wrong way. And I am very susceptible to getting sidelined and going the wrong way. And it's just, I let the internet take me where it wants me to go. It's so bad.
No, you got to be the Somali pirate of your own brain, dude.
I'm not.
You got to get up there. You got to, no, I'm the captain now.
I am smart.
I keep a hungry Somalian in my dome at all times. I'm like, this guy's
I am the captain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, my brain, the wrinkles of my brain covered with Captain Phillips's all over the place.
Yeah.
Just fucking tankers of slop coming through from the internet. I go, no. Mm-hmm. Me and my boys, we're out here in little skiffs.
Yeah.
And I'm finding what I want.
All right. I'm going to take your advice.
No, I did see the piles of books in here, and I thought about Ghostbusters. But after that, I was looking at them like, I appreciate that they look like they've been read through. And I also agree that, reading the Cliff Notes of something, sure, if you need to, be familiar with a topic and you want to move on from it, great. But I do agree. I'm like, there's a reason there's a whole bunch of extra fucking words around the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
And it's to give you the more full context.
Yeah.
To maybe allow you to have insights of your own. And I think that's a beautiful thing when you're actually reading, a tactile book or a Kindle if you want. But I like a tactile book myself.
Yeah, sources.
Yeah,
when you're reading sources,
something you can sticky note. Yeah.
There's, modern people. I bet you, if you took a poll of just the average, I don't know, 20 to 30-year-old who reads books.
Yeah.
I would love to know.
Yeah.
I bet it's 5% of people. It's got to be so low, unbelievably low. Like you hear the number and you're like, it can't be.
I think it'll come back.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think
people think that the internet's like a book, though. They think they're getting the same stuff.
Yeah, but I think the more that people scream for authenticity, it'll come through again. Yeah, at least I hope so. I don't know. I mean, I even see the influencer books that'll go viral, like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. A couple years ago.
Who wrote that?
Mark, cannot remember his last name off the top of my head. Are you familiar with the book? It like went viral. Orange cover, curse word in the title, so it was like an immediate head snapper at airports.
Well, this guy knows clickbait.
Oh, well, absolutely, and he talks about it. It's a very tongue-in-cheek, self-aware, motivational book. Here, Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard of it. I mean, it was popular, you say?
Yeah, and but my point being is, like, at first I was like, man, fuck this, like
motivational speaker thing.
Yeah, well, I thought it was just like cheap bullshit. Mark Manson is his name, and it's like like a former club promoter type guy writes a motivational book, and it like pissed me off. And then I read it, and it's very like surface level, get out there and get after it stuff. Okay. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck what my mentality was. If people are reading again and this gets them going again, I'm like, yeah, all right, maybe it's not Bukowski, but it's a step in the right direction. Yeah. And also, some people fucking hate Bukowski. So
yeah. I mean, all those motivational books, in a way. There's also, I feel that way about, like, how should I say, fake spiritual books, like books about contacting the dead and books about being a psychic and books about this and books about that. Yeah. If it makes you feel better, then I can't, there's nothing wrong with reading it, but I don't think those books are real. I don't think they're telling you real information.
Against, like, actual seances in the occult, or you just think it's horseshit, or or are you talking more like the witchcraft for dummies type stuff?
I mean, like, if it's a book that's like, I am a psychic and I'm explaining my life as a psychic who contacts the dead, and I want to tell you about my powers and what I know about the afterlife. Because what it tends to end up being is people looking for security, and so they read something like that thinking that they're being provided information that is being presented to them as 100% true, when there's just got to be so much smoke and mirrors in all of those worlds, in the occult, in witchcraft and psychics and everything.
Religions,
and it makes me sad because that's another thing I want to believe in. Like, I definitely want to believe like there is a step above the soul and there's things that are beyond our understanding, but then people just take it so far.
Are you religious?
I would say in what I just said, probably is insofar as that I think there's definitely something beyond our understanding.
So classic agnostic type of something up
but I would
there.
say I believe that due to the fact that just there's stories you'll hear of. I mean, there's things in life that I think happen in ways that just seem like they, I think as a human, we believe in stories and we want to believe in narratives and make sense of things. But also, it just seems sometimes like things line up some ways. Like things line up in life in weird ways sometimes, where it's just like, man, it almost feels like that happened at the exact right time it was supposed to. So that type of stuff just trips me out.
Yeah, like a cosmic coincidence that just seems too...
Yep.
Yeah.
And when that stuff happens, or I think with DMT, the fact that people have similar experiences, it either says that we all have this thing in our brain that goes the same exact direction when you have a certain chemical interacting with it. Like, it always goes to this, it snaps out of this reality, goes to this weird place that seems really real. There's these geometrical shapes and also some creatures say hi to you, and then you come back.
Lady in the water, yeah.
And if that is the same thing for everybody, that's really, really weird. And so that type of thing, because either it's just a really weird illusion that we all see, or it's something else. It's more than an illusion, but you don't know, because how could you know? Dreams are another thing where it's the subconscious, and we can sort of understand them and sort of make sense of it. But what does it really mean? We don't really know. So all those things to me point to something else, but I don't know what that thing is.
Okay.
And I think religion is just one way of defining that
to
thing.
put some understanding on it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because who the fuck knows? No one knows. No one could definitely tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but consciousness is a strange thing.
Sure.
Just existing itself. The fact that you wake up and Mr. Oscar's right there laying right next to you, the fact that he's doing that is crazy.
The goodest of boys.
Dogs are a good example of consciousness being crazy, you know? Pets, kids, when you have your own form of consciousness you're responsible for. That's the trip. You're like, oh my God.
That's pretty wild.
What is life?
Truly a misunderstood thing until it's about to end.
Yeah, because I think about it, try to put in perspective, looking at him and looking at my kitty cat, I think, man, these guys are, you asked me when you came here, you said, how old is he? He's about 9.
Yeah.
That's like 2/3 to halfway of his life. It's somewhere around there. He's going to live to 15 to 20.
I mean, this guy, and with your level of income as a billionaire, you can keep this guy going forever, man.
Well, he's eating the finest of foods at that point.
He's,
steak every day.
He's zonked out, having a great time right now.
But I mean, so I think about that. I try to put it in perspective. And it's one of those things, too, where you can't think about that stuff too much. You'll drive yourself crazy. But at the same time, you got to remember, it's all limited. This dogs in particular, pets, they'll remind you because they're not forever. They're like a quarter of a life, a fifth of a life.
Yeah, depending on you. Yeah,
a turtle. I guess a turtle lasts a while. Turtles live a long time.
Yeah, you get a Galapagos turtle, that'd be a wild. Certain birds, macaw, that'd last a while.
60 years. I've heard like birds you pass down to your children.
Sure.
Someone
talk
told me
about
that.
a real burden.
That's crazy.
Like I got a screechy fucking animal I got to take care of. You know.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't think of a good joke to dap you up with. I wanted to go Jack Sparrow or That's So Raven, but I couldn't think of a way.
Hey man, we don't have to. Just let the riffs happen. If they happen,
know,
they
but
happen,
I wanted to so bad.
Okay.
Oh man, because a burden. Oh, look at you. Should be a rapper. You ever think about rapping?
No, truly, any cleverness that is ever been something I've done is just by accident.
Good.
Subconsciously, my brain is funnier than I consciously have ever been.
Is that how you stumble into comedy? Is that how that happens? You
think so,
start to acknowledge the accidental things you do that are funny?
Yeah, I actually, more now than ever. Some of the stuff my buddies have pointed out to me is what I focus on now, being like my funniest stuff, where it's like accidental stuff or inadvertent humor. So if I try to write too seriously, that's when I'm like, it's just that amount of structure in me, not that funny. But just kind of flowing like I have.
Yeah.
Freestyle, if you will, freestyle comedy, that's when it'll happen.
So you can't go back to your old writing style then, because then it would be not that.
What that old style does for me is old style great beer, brought to you by I'll write that joke later. But what that does to me is it at least gets premises out there, or like something fun for me to think about. You know, like I'm like, all right, I want to write a joke about a flamethrower.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna write on it until I find, those bullet points. Going back to how Jason writes, I'll find some bullet points, and then I'll go to an open mic 3, 4, 5 times a week. Honestly, one of the coolest things in this city is if I have a new couple of jokes I want to work on, I can go to 6 open mics within 2 days, maybe more within 2 days, 3 days. And then if I have shows on the weekend, I'll have done that joke enough to be like, let's take it to a club or a real audience and see how it does this weekend.
People always tell me that New York is like that, but even more so.
Yes, but my friends that are New York comics that aren't on the up, like all the way up yet, I think one of the coolest things about the Chicago scene, and I can say it from visiting the scene to now living here to comparing it to other scenes I visit all the time, you can get a lot of good stage time here without that much competitive, atmosphere. Like, it's still very competitive here, but like I was just saying, you could go to 6 open mics in 2 days, maybe more. Most of them will be fine to maybe even bad.
Okay.
But a couple of them will be good, and a few of them have actual audiences. And the bad open mics are great because it's like, motherfucker, I just need to see how this sounds out loud in a room, from notebook to crowd.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, cool, that's how it sounds. You can walk, or however you get to the next mic, you're focused on that joke, and you're like, how do I say this a little bit better? Maybe you hit that second mic, and you're like, okay, now I got to flow down to it. Maybe I'm putting it in my own voice.
Yeah.
So before I was just saying it out loud, now I'm saying it in my comedic voice. By the third open mic, you're like, all right, I got the structure, I got the voice, let's see how I perform it. You perform it, and then you do it a few more times. That's something that in certain scenes you can't do.
Right.
And when I was
you're
younger,
from Michigan.
Well, Michigan, I would have to drive around nonstop to do multiple mics in a night, if not a mic a night. Yeah. Now, I will say you get more stage time on those mics. You get like 7 minutes as opposed to 3 or 4 here.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to, I would take that process and do it for multiple jokes instead of just one, and then stretch it out over a week. Instead of here, I'll do 2 bits and kind of work them nonstop.
Right.
Whereas back home when I was coming up, I'd do 4 or 5 and spread it out over the week of doing mics over 7-minute sets. So it's like, it's how you approach your time and what you do with it. But again, like here, I think one of the reasons Chicago produces a lot of great stand-up or comedy or entertainers in general is huge city, literally 3rd biggest city in the country, massive metropolitan area, Midwest drivable, so you've got so many other like micro scenes around to hit up if you have a car.
Right.
And then yeah, man, like just polishing something up in a good atmosphere can happen a lot quicker here. And that's not lost on me.
Yeah.
And you don't get that in New York or LA. There's a ton. Biggest, most robust scenes for sure, but it's the quality at the lower end is not as good from my opinion, my humble opinion about it.
Yeah. Well, the community at those mics is just inherently different.
Well,
too.
it's even bigger than here. So it's like you get, real tribalism.
Yeah.
Where, like, I haven't been here that long, but I'm like, I think I have an idea of a good amount of the comics in the Chicago scene at this point. If I don't know them, I know of them.
Yeah.
Or it's, like, not hard to, like, reach out to them. Where, like, there's so many in New York or LA that there could be cliques that don't know each other until they're actually at one of the working clubs.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, who'd you come up with? And you're like, okay, that whole kind of fucking area. Not here. Here
it's more interconnected.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think so, a little bit more. And being a transfer student to the cause, I had to go to the open mic, so I met a lot of these new open micers that within a year are already progressing on to better things, and now I'm starting to know a lot more of the working comics in Chicago as well. So it's like, okay, yeah, I get to meet both groups of people, and they're both very capable for where they're at.
Yeah, I guess that would be a good question. Like, what place is easier to integrate into out of those 3? I guess if you want to include Austin too, the 4 major cities.
We can. I just got back from 16, 17 days in Austin.
So many people still are moving there, so it's a good one to ask about because people are still doing it.
The Austin scene, I think of it as an expansion team. So like
it's like DLC.
Well, yeah, it's like the top dogs there are unequivocally some of the top dogs in the country. Like I'm a fan of Gillis and some of the people he associates with.
Yeah.
And it's like truly incredible comedians are there now.
Yeah.
And they're at they're like the working comics of our generation.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, all right, they're doing fine. Now there's a new group of comics that have come up.
In Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not big yet. But there's a group that is starting to travel on their own. They're flying out. And they're not even like Kill Tony folk that like made it that way. It's like Austin comedy coming up on their own.
Okay.
But the open mic level of Austin right now is too saturated for a city that is not that big.
That's what people have told me, and I just wasn't sure, because when I hear something like that, I'm never sure if people are talking trash, like they just don't like the Austin scene, so they're saying that for that reason. But that you telling me that makes me feel like it's true, because it's the second time I've heard this now. Okay. Is that it's at the point now, because I think it was somebody who had just moved from Austin that told me this, or they had a friend who had just moved from Austin.
Yeah.
And they were just saying it's oversaturated now. It's at the point where too many comics have moved there. Yeah, at the open, but that's where a lot of comics who are moving there are. They're at the open mic level.
And it's tough because the open mics are pretty brutal.
Yeah.
The scene, again, the scene has some scene darlings. It has as capable of comics as anywhere else I've been.
Yeah, it's become a hub for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It's undeniably a place for comics to be.
Yeah. But one of the tragic things about it at the open mic level is like a lot of the Austin comedy is, in my humble opinion, still kind of in one lane.
Yeah, right.
And it's like I look at scenes a lot by like how much you can travel and cultivate and go out and get different interactions with the world. And Austin's Central Texas. And then it takes 3 hours to get to Dallas or Houston, hour and a half to get to San Antonio. Those are the biggest cities outside Austin, and it's all Texas still.
And like you mentioned with here, you're in a Midwest place where you have a bunch of cities nearby. That
all over the place. Yeah. And I'm and I don't know. It's complicated because like clearly Joe Rogan was the force that moved there and made it a comedy city.
Yeah, if he didn't open a club there, this wouldn't be happening.
Right, or bring half of the Comedy Store.
Well, I think even if he moved, but he didn't open the club, it wouldn't be quite the same. It would just kind of be a thing he did. But the fact that he opened a club and started booking people, I mean, that whole, Kill Tony moving there. I think, and it wasn't even Joe Rogan. He says he's not the first. He said it was Ron White who told him to do it. But there was somebody, there's even more comics who have been there since 2005. Yeah. So it's a little trickle thing that Joe Rogan, he was the wave that really made it happen.
COVID.
That propelled it. Yep.
And truly, getting going in his own capacity. I actually visited in 2022 when that whole comedy scene was still kind of based out of Vulcan, which is like a nightclub there. And now Vulcan still very active in the comedy scene down there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it has some great spots. Like East Austin Comedy Club, Vulcan, Roscoe's, the Mothership. The Mothership's not underrated. Like, I got to hang out there. I did some sets, was on the open mic. And it's like, when you're doing that, it is great comedy. It's great for comedy. And you can do whatever jokes you want to. I think a lot of people think when you're at Mothership, like you have to do like anti-woke hack bullshit. And don't get me wrong, there is that going on there. Yeah. But you can do any kind of comedy and it crushes.
People don't really care.
No, they're just there for good comedy. But there's also that group that is there for like, feed me the slop. Give me the anti-woke daddy slop. Like,
right. But you don't have to do that.
But you don't have to. So that's where I'm like, I think people are shoehorning it in a negative way too much.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, no, if you're a good comedian, you can go there and crush no matter what.
Right.
It is a good spot to do stand-up comedy. As is a lot of other places in that scene. I just think a scene really builds up a culture from its open mic base upward. Mm-hmm. Like the vertical integration of a scene. And Austin's still new. Right. It's new to being like a major scene.
Right.
And so the guys that inspired me in that scene, guys and gals in that scene, were like these 4 to 10 year in comics that maybe they moved there, again, like an expansion team. You know, they brought in a couple powerhouses and then made some trades, brought in some good units to build a team. They're going to be rebuilding or building for a couple of years. But I think that scene will kind of diversify out and become its own thing. And within a decade, really be its own, like, powerhouse scene. But I don't know.
I mean, did all the other scenes, kind of like L.A. and New York at least, did they develop simultaneously? I don't really know the origins of those scenes.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about like vaudeville style stand-up.
I guess that would all be all at once, the 20s, right?
Yeah, and it was like the massive cities for entertainment at the time were always New York and LA.
Yeah, so and I guess Chicago would probably be the same.
Yep.
So I guess it's just interesting because maybe you haven't really had a major city come around and become a new hub for comedy before. This is kind of the first time it's happened. If I'm thinking about it, like a big new a place where just all of a sudden, boom, it's on the map for comedy.
Yeah, I would say in that is worldwide known.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're doing comedy and you're in it, I would say scenes like Denver, Colorado really massively came up in a good way. Hilariously enough, I think it's one of the most slept on scenes in the country, but Cincinnati, Ohio.
Really?
Yeah. That whole like mid-Atlantic inland part of the country, like Cincinnati and like a 200-mile radius around Cincy, like those cities in Nashville, like Nashville's, I would say Nashville is probably going to be on par with Austin in a couple of years as a comedy town.
Huh.
Yeah, because like a lot of people have moved there. Some of the, Nate Bargatze.
Oh,
and Theo Vaughn and
Theo Vaughn moved there?
I don't think he's there permanently, but I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up there permanently.
That would be interesting.
He's between LA and Nashville, I thought.
If Nashville becomes another spot, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, well, Zany's Nashville is starting to become kind of a world-renowned club. Wow. Bargatze's really putting it on the map. Dusty Slay's down there.
Yeah. All you need is a couple big names.
Well, that, and then like again, I'm telling you that like middle landlocked mid-Atlantic part of the country has some of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met.
Yeah.
And it's one of those scenes where I'm like, there's just enough grit and hard work, but also enough like money to like have people go out and want to consume comedy in a meaningful way. Like I will say Rust Belt, Michigan was kind of a brutal come up. I love Michigan in my scene, but it's like it's a little bit more brutal when you're doing rooms that it's like, okay, money's tight. And it's awesome because it means like you can laugh at darker and more commiserative stuff earlier in a career. But I mean, like, it just makes
it limits growth.
Any art form is limiting when there's not the Medici behind it, Like, it's like, oh, all right, like, yeah, this guy's a good painter, but let's see what he could do with more than one color. But anyways, I would just say, like Nashville's another scene. There's only, jokingly, there's like one scene I don't care for, but even that one's come around. So, but no, man, Austin is, I think it's easy to hate, especially on the come up if you're a newer comic. And then it's also easy to hate because any amount of like sincere politics in comedy, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, mock it or shut up.
Yes.
Unless you want to, as a comic, be like, hey, I'm a comedian, but I also have political takes.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be sincere. Fine. But this weird, like, asinine middle ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, either make fun of it or...
See, I'm torn because there's at least the fact that I know in other countries there is a different type of humor that is like that, like political humor or serious humor, the way that maybe
I will. You're gonna get me jingoistic about American stand-up in that I'm like, oh baby, we're still the cutting edge in punk rock.
We're the best. We're the best.
Like,
but I'm just saying that that does exist. So there's that. But then also, oh man, I'm losing my train of thought. It's straying away.
I'm sorry. No, we were talking about political comedy.
Oh yeah, well, just political comedy being that it's like, I think my theory is that you just can't tell the audience what you think. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be saying what's funny about the thing. Yeah. And so if you start to walk into the territory of this is how I think or this is how you should think, immediately you're dividing everything, and that's no longer. Like, it's going to be funny to somebody, but you just took out a big segment of everyone somehow naturally. Whereas the best thing you could possibly have done is just walk the line. And usually when people do the best political jokes where they're talking about the topical humor that goes viral or whatever, they're saying what's funny about the thing. They're not saying what you should think about it.
Right. Well, because there's a difference between being preachy and playing to an audience.
Yeah, and I think it's the thing where people want the real thing. People want something that's real. They don't want to get preached to. They want the real thing.
Right.
They just want you to be talking to them.
Or the subverting of norm, or like pointing out the humor in something.
Yeah.
Mocking it, where it's like it doesn't necessarily need to be politically charged so much as it is politically inspired.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh yeah, this is why I'm talking about it, because it's a political thing, but I'm like, I'm not going to go out here and garner votes. But at the same time, being a realist about language, I'm like, if you say something and it makes somebody think in a certain way that then they act on it, it is because of what you said. So just be aware of that no matter what, even if it is a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I don't buy the cop out of like, it's just a joke. I'm like, no, I mean, it can be, but jokes are just another form of language, and language, like anything, can be used to manipulate.
I think intention is always the most important thing. It's always the most important thing. And in that,
really?
If you are to use intention being...
I think outcome.
They're both important.
I'm being genuine. Like,
I think outcome and intention, if they don't align, that's important. But I think your intention is the thing of the utmost importance, because if I understand your intention, I can do something with that. But if I don't understand your intention, you can't do anything with that. Like, people where you don't know what the fuck they're thinking, they're impossible, you know? But the outcome matters. Like, one thing, a thought experiment I like to think about with that is like, okay, if I'm gonna sitting here with you and there's a bomb underneath us, and we both don't think there's a bomb underneath us, does our intention, does our perspective really matter? Because the bomb's gonna explode in 10 minutes. The bomb exists. The bomb's there. Yeah. But we both don't think the bomb is there.
Right.
So does the bomb exist?
I mean, it's a Schrodinger's bomb. Yeah.
Because the bomb fucking exists. It's going to go off. So that matters.
I mean, if you say so.
But the intention does matter, too. I mean, if I go through life thinking a bomb exists, then that's probably not good.
Right. Well, I think the outcome would still be the thing that matters most there.
Yeah, exactly. The bomb's going to go off.
It's going to go off.
It's going to go off.
And it's like, when it does, we'll be dead.
Yeah.
So, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Now you have me thinking there might be a bomb.
There might be
on air, but
I think what got me to, because I think it was some stupid Facebook argument I was having with somebody about like it was somebody who I could tell just did too much psychedelics, like me, and they were
LSD or DMT.
I did a bunch of LSD at a point in my life, but anyway, so I was arguing with this person about like objectivity versus subjectivity, because they were trying to say like subjectivity is the ultimate thing, and I was trying to say like, no, the universe is ultimately objective. You can't say the universe is ultimately subjective. And that was the example I came up with, was the bomb one, because it's a good example of like, it doesn't really matter what you say. The bomb is there. It doesn't matter what you say.
Well, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. The inevitable outcome is there.
Yeah. And I think you can exist in whatever reality you want to, if you really want to. But the bomb's still there.
You know what? I can get on board with that.
It was a stressful conversation with this guy, because he was typing like 5 paragraphs, and he was getting all. I knew I was right, and that's what made me so mad. I knew I was right.
Unfortunately,
I don't participate in Facebook conversations anymore. It's bad for me.
Yeah.
I've learned, don't engage with that anymore.
Well, you seem like a pretty brilliant fella, so it's like,
it's a waste of my energy. That's exactly why. If I'm a brilliant person, I should not be using it.
Man, we all got our hang-ups. I should be
writing essays. I've learned like that's a good place. I'm writing a song, I'm writing essays. Like I went through this dilemma where it's like, I can't be posting how I feel on a Facebook. I'm not wasting this in here. I should be putting it into something. What am I doing? I'm crazy. Because it's like, if you put it on the internet in just like a Facebook status, 5 people are going to see that's going to affect nobody. You put it into like a song or like a joke. If you're a comedian, you turn it into a joke. You're not wasting it. I feel like you waste things when you do that too much. You know, there are comics who put a lot of energy on Facebook.
I will. Don't get me started on that. But
there's a couple of them.
I could digress there, but no. You know what? I was going to say, you kind of caught me in my own. I'll backpedal on something. Because the outcome. Sorry, I'm spacing that way.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
good.
Checking the time or anything. But okay, so the outcome of only getting 5 likes, I'm like, yeah, that does suck. And the intention, if the intention is to get more likes, maybe. But I was like, I don't know. Sometimes the outcome is just the intention of doing something. But maybe I might be on a little bit of a parallel.
I live my life with 0 outcomes in mind. I try to live my life with just the intention in mind and lead with that and hope that the outcome goes the right direction based upon that intention.
I'd say it is a delightfully young artist's way of going about it. Well, I don't want to be rude.
No,
how old are you? And you don't
27.
Okay. All right. So you're in the year of maybe doing it. Don't do it, by the way. Reaper comes for us all.
It'll happen on accident. That's how that club works.
Yeah.
It happens on accident.
Sure. Yeah.
I got to be careful what I start saying on this podcast.
I was going to say, brother, you might want to cool it on political takes until your 28th birthday.
Maybe I will start cutting stuff out of this.
I don't know. But as far as I know, I look like a plainclothes cop, but I couldn't be further from authority. Yeah. So, but anyways,
there's like a grand plan, but at the same time, the success that I've had, it's always been a result of not expecting too much or not thinking this is going to go this way and this go. Like I've learned no, it's
managing expectations then?
Yeah, I guess so. Like if no one joke, no one set, no one song, no one anything is going to be the thing. You just have to keep doing that thing over and over, and that will snowball into something else. Yeah. And if you just find the right thing to keep doing, that's going to snowball into something else. If you just believe in that.
I 100% do.
And that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like I'm leading with the intention of that and just hoping that turns into something.
Doing stuff that you want to do in the field you want to do, grinding it out, and hopefully getting better.
I think it's like you have to reach as you do that. Sure. You have to reach, and that's how you get better. You have to act. You can't just hope to get better. You kind of have to. You have to figure out ways to do it.
You got to do the work. Yeah, we talked about it.
But there's different ways to do that. Yeah. That's what's cool about it, is that no matter what you're doing, there's different ways you can do it. Or like, I just talked to somebody, Mr. Eddie, he was this last episode. He's 54. Yeah. And something he was talking about was just that when he turned 50, that was his whole turning a new leaf. Like, I need to do something with my life. Yeah. And it could be that. It could be you're 50 years old and there's just something you got to do and learn a whole new thing. Yeah, man. It could be anything. The way you get better,
Giving yourself purpose, anytime is a good thing. And sometimes, you hit monumental ages, and the great motivational force that is death is always nice. Knowing morbidity is a thing to keep you truly creative.
That's a good one.
Well, what's your muse? I'm like, the fact that it's gonna fucking end. Yeah. Should try a little bit harder, Yeah. I'm glad for some people it's a pretty person, but for me it's that skeletal being that wants our fucking body. So, but no, good for Mr. Eddie. Glad he didn't kill himself.
Not yet.
Yeah.
By the way, when I was saying the bomb under the floor thing, I was thinking that's a good metaphor for death if you really think about it, right? There's always the bomb under the floor, whether you accept it or not.
Because it's gonna go off.
Yeah, it's gonna go off. So
that's why I'm like, even with your buddy, you were having this subjective, objective conversation. The bomb under the floor could have been that objectively, whatever subjectively you take in will end.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, man, you can see it all subjectively, but objectively, your perception of it will all end.
Yeah.
And that should be grounding in some way.
I think that what's interesting about with the conversation with nihilism and all of that is there's different.
Whoa, how'd we get there?
Because it is an old nihilistic perspective to think that it's all about death and death is ultimately the ultimate thing chasing me down. I think that's ultimately saying that it's meaningless.
That's
right?
if you don't believe in an afterlife or something grander.
Okay.
But even if you do, it's like, all right, well, whatever that is after is going to be completely different from this as well. Yeah. So it's like, do what you can while you're here in this reality.
Right.
So it's like, all right, because it's like, all right, if you've got it on your mind agnostically that it's unknown, but maybe there's something, that's motivational. If you believe in heaven, that's motivation, because it's like, all right, I don't think I'm going to be able to do whatever I'm doing right now again. And then if there's nothingness, like a nihilist would believe, then it's like, well, then it is for sure done. Yeah. So you might as well really exist doing something now.
Do you know Nietzsche's theory of, I forget what it's called, but it's like reality. You're repeating your life over and over the exact same way. I think so.
Was that in More Human Than Human?
I'm not sure which book it's in. But I know that the whole idea is it's like a reconciliation of Buddhism and Christianity, and this idea that you're supposed to do the right thing, and Nietzsche he grew up religiously, but he didn't believe in religion. Yeah. So the idea is that he's finding a way to philosophically make sense of those, like to present it in a philosophical exercise where it's like, what if when you die, you live the same exact life over and over again? And it's the eternal recurrence. That's what it's called. Yeah.
I'm actually wholly unaware of that.
I did not that's what it is.
I studied a little bit of Nietzsche, but it's
a good thought exercise.
It's a beautiful thought exercise.
Because then you want to do the right thing.
As you should, but I think it's also deep and great philosophers. I think of the closest thing we have to logically putting a good coat of paint on faith.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I really love it. I love a good philosopher because they're trying their best to get the fucking answer to something that truly is unanswerable.
Yeah.
They'll get you 99.9% of the way there.
Right.
Right. And then I love a blissful moron that was like, no, it's just religion right here. So I'm just going to believe in that.
Yeah.
Because faith. And it's like, fuck, man, I love a guy that's 99.9% in on figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I love a guy who's 0.1% like, I got this.
Because I think they're both right.
Yeah.
They're both right.
I love it. And I entertain, I'm in both those worlds myself.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it is very enlightening. It is beautiful. Either or can be what you need to go to, depending on your reality.
I think what's interesting about it is you identify with certain things depending on your reality.
Sure.
So, like, depending on who you are, it's like we said about art before.
Yeah.
Certain art's going to stick out to you when it doesn't stick out to somebody else. You might find a certain philosopher, and they just make perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But other people hate that guy. Like, I mean, I forget what the one guy's name, but I think it's Schopenhauer. I want to say that's who it is, but he's known for just being really negative. A lot of people think he's very pessimistic and negative.
Okay.
But other people are like, no, he's just figured it out. Like, life is just miserable.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And if you agree with that, there's no one who can tell you you're wrong.
But true, but I mean, even Buddha, I think, is, quoted or paraphrased saying that life is misery.
Yeah.
And it's like, sure.
There's a way to respond to that.
But it's like, I don't know, man, like get an acquired taste for it. Embrace the suck, as the Marines might say.
Yeah.
And it's like suddenly it fucking rules again.
Uh-huh.
Life can be misery, but if you choose to be a miserable prick about it, then you're still doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you're not helping.
I think the misery is meant to shine
that came
light.
off a little heated. That was not towards you
I
at
agree
all.
with
It's
you.
just
because I think that's how you get like Eeyore type people who just life sucks and life's bad, and it's like you have to understand that part of life is necessary so you can value the other part of life when it's not miserable and things go good.
There's glimpses of beauty.
Yeah.
And you better embrace the beauty and peace. True nirvana is when you're calm and you get to recognize that you're calm and you get to enjoy it. And that doesn't happen a ton later on in life. It's wasted on you as a child. Maybe not wasted on you, but it is. Very few children have the wherewithal to probably recognize that.
What's happening.
What's happening, exactly. And then if you are blissfully unaware most of your life, you don't get to take those moments. Now, I think we brought up struggling as well. I think one of the beautiful things about a fucking struggle you get through is moments of peace are not wasted on you anymore.
Right.
And you do get to embrace those beautiful moments, and it fills up your emergency mental capacity for when the shit hits the fan again, because you know it's gonna. And the worst thing is, the ultimate shit hitting the fan is it's gonna end. We're gonna die, and you're like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
I'm out.
existential
Looks like I'm out.
crisis. Yeah. That's the ultimate shit hitting the fan.
This is weird. I don't know that I fear death anymore. I don't want to die.
Right.
But that is not. That's. Death, I think, is just, again, the bomb that causes you to recognize other existential crises.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that. And I'm just speaking for me. I don't know if death is my existential crisis anymore.
I mean, there's quotes that I'm not going to remember right now, basically saying that, like, why would I fear death? I've never, ever seen it before. Like, it's
That's
never,
funny.
it's
That's
never.
very funny.
Yeah. You meet it one time in life. It's never there.
Was that a humorist philosopher?
I feel like, yeah.
Okay, that sounds like
some
something
poet
Twain would say.
Probably, right? Probably exactly who it was. You're probably spot on.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I don't either, but I'm like, I love that mentality about it. Like, truly, something I've been saying on stage that, fuck if it gets a laugh or not, but I do a lot of jokes about suicide and dark stuff. And one of my lines is inspired from a character in the movie. Fuck, dude, I'm sorry. A character in the movie from Gettysburg.
Okay.
And the line is Gettysburg, and Gettysburg is, two Southern soldiers talking, how are you? And it's like, oh, you worry me. Don't go looking for, death. It'll come for you in its own good time. I'm paraphrasing there. And so, I have a joke about, like, not killing yourself, because I'm like, hey, Reaper comes for us all. Don't go knocking for him. And it's a funny one-aside
It's a good quote. That's a really good quote.
Well, but I like keeping it on as a tag on the end of that joke, because sometimes it'll get a chuckle, and then other times I want it to be like a digestif to maybe a darker joke for people that, if they're sitting in the crowd and I'm like, oh, I just triggered maybe some suicidal people, like I want to give them an out on a bit where I'm like, hey, I'm not actually making light all the way of how you're feeling. I'm trying to make you laugh at it. Right. And if I didn't, then just know this logically, I don't want you to either, because it's coming for us.
Right.
So, yeah. But to go back to the existentialism, just knowing that it ends, I think, is a beautiful thing, but it does lead to all the other crises of, like, am I wasting this time?
Right. And time being limited when theoretically it's not. Theoretically, time doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
But time is limited if you're thinking about time ending.
Yeah.
But it doesn't also doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I love in speaking of Nietzsche, in True Detective season 1, I don't know if you're aware of it, but
I've heard lots of good Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think it's good TV. I think you'd like it. Based on our conversation, I think you'd dig it.
I've heard like top 5 TV, one of the best of all time.
It's truly great. I mean, it's cop drama and it's also got philosophy in there, but yeah, there's a character that just says, time is a flat circle, and then the line to that is, what is that, Nietzsche? Shut the fuck up. And I'm like, dude, I love that. I love that because it's like, sometimes you can wax too poetical about philosophy, and it's like, subjectivity, baby, the reality you're wearing right now. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck? Shut the fuck up. That doesn't pertain to right now. So, yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, I've noticed that people will have prepared speeches a lot of the time, or they'll have prepared monologues, and they'll just want to tell you stuff. That's what I hate the most, is like when you can tell they just really want to say this. It's not like a part of the conversation, it's just them bringing Nietzsche into it. Oh, okay. Like they really want it. They've been listening to Nietzsche for the last week, and they really want to bring this up, and somehow they found a way to string it in. And you don't realize till they're like 2 minutes into the monologue, and you're like, oh, God damn it. They got me.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We got to talk about this for another 10 minutes? No.
Yeah.
They got me.
I dare say that's a younger person's game as well, because memorizing and regurgitating smart stuff is fun. It makes you feel good.
It makes you feel smart.
It does.
It feels smart.
Yeah. And
so look at me saying the information.
Right. and it can be cool, but it's also maybe dickheaded.
It just depends, I guess.
It does.
Depends where you are, what you're doing.
Yeah, I for whatever reason, it's always a house party where I'm like, why the fuck is this guy trying to use Nietzsche to get laid? I'm like, come on, man. You got nothing else in the bag of tricks?
He's reciting fucking Shakespeare all of a sudden.
Wait, huh? I've seen it work too, and I'm not one to blame women, but truly, if we're gonna do this, women, could you do better? Don't fuck guys like that,
bro. I do Shakespeare. Bitches love Shakespeare, dude, bro.
It does. I see it. It's what is it? Pickup artist bullshit. Just done in different. They're not wearing peacock feathers or velvet coats. They're just like, I'm going to get really good at quoting some Oscar Wilde and some Nietzsche. And who'd you bring up? Old Billy Shakes?
Yeah. At that point, you're basically character building. They're becoming a whole actor. Like, they should just join the theater.
I guess.
Honestly, that's kind of impressive. If you're doing all of that to get laid, you should start acting.
I thought you meant character building like in an RPG scenario where I'm like, they're building a fucking douche at a party. Like,
that's the class they chose in the game.
Yeah, their charisma's in the hole, but they're covering it with a bunch of other stats.
Yeah, charisma's real low, but the luck is super high.
Luck is high and intelligence is high, but that charisma's in the absolute garbage can, dog. Fucking shit.
That's how they somehow get away with it. That's the answer.
Okay, this is psychotic in me. I probably because I came up on too many like video games and tabletop games. I will look at life as like quests and stats and people's builds.
There's phone apps for that. Like there's phone apps like Life RPG, and you can create your own little quests and earn experience and level up skills. And you know what's so funny? I'm such a nerd. I used to have a note on my computer where I would do that for myself. I would have stats that I created for myself, and I would like level up my own stats.
See,
like if I were doing it now,
and adorable and fun. The app for whatever reason, made me not happy when you brought that up.
I don't like the app.
Yourself is adorable because it's like it's your own thing you're making for yourself. The app is just another commercialization of imagination, probably at a very mediocre form.
What makes me mad about the app is, there's limits to it. It's not like my fantasy where I can just turn anything into XP and I can live it the way I want to do it.
Right.
But it is a fun concept.
Yeah.
So there's like, I think the app like does things like you have energy and there's a certain amount of energy you can use. I don't know. They do dumb shit where it's like, why are you introducing
actual
rules?
biometric markers?
Yeah. Am I gonna? Right. Am I gonna give you a blood sample? How the fuck does this app work?
Yeah. Is it like linked up to your smartwatch and be like, all right, you didn't sleep a lot, so you
when Neuralink
don't.
comes around, this app's gonna be really good. But what I'm saying though,
Are you
what?
Are you gonna Chrome up? You Chrome up kind of guy?
I won't.
You seem like a cyberpunk guy I could talk with.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm a doomer with all that.
But you're aware of cyberpunk and references.
I'm aware of it, but I'm a doomer. I'm not becoming a cyborg. It's not happening to me.
Right.
You can chip everybody, but you can't get me.
I'll do all the wearable stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to put anything in there.
That's how I feel.
Unless it was like a medical thing for like joints or something like that, I'll take that kind of tech in my body. I do not want anything implanted that is going to do any kind of recording or potentially move data around within my fucking brain.
Nothing in my brain. Yeah.
No. Even the microchips under the skin. Yeah. No, thank you.
Nope.
That sounds Satan-adjacent behavior. I'm good on that.
That was a conspiracy 10 years ago, and then 3 years ago they started doing
about what?
The microchips in the. There was they're gonna put chips in you, and then
they did in parts of Sweden.
That's
right?
what I was about to say. About 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know about Sweden, but I know here in America they were doing it with some companies. Maybe it was Sweden. Maybe I'm mixing it up.
No,
I just know companies were doing it. They were saying employees they can just clock in.
Yeah,
it's like what are you talking
It was like
about?
I remember. Yeah, it was like a thing in the meat of
so
the
it was
hand.
Sweden. Yeah,
that one for sure. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was more than one place.
Probably.
But all I could think about is like some fucking crazy guy meat cleavering off your hand to use your fucking chip. Like fuck that all the way, dude. I will wear a watch and some Google Glass. Hell, I'll wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Whatever we gotta do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dog, I don't want nobody cyberpunk chopping my hand off. I'll just give you the watch.
Yeah.
Steal my eddies. It's fine. It's a hellscape we live in anyway.
Yep.
You know, no.
And honestly, the VR, the headset, the glasses, that all sounds fun. I mean, I don't like it.
It's gonna get sleek.
Yeah, it's gonna get cool.
Crazy to think. I might not do implants, but a contact lens. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do that. That's wearable tech still.
And even then, like the doomer in me, the old man in me, I'm like, it's anti-humanity. It's not good. It's gonna turn us all into. It's the devil's work. It's gonna change us all.
Sure.
I also will probably put the glasses on and put the contacts in.
Yeah, I'll
how
do that
could
stuff.
you resist? How could you resist such a thing?
Well, you gotta,
but I won't get the chip.
No, don't get chipped. Because I still want to, at the end of the day, and I don't want to be lewd here, but it's like I want to be able to be naked and human.
Yeah. So this is what bothers me about Neuralink is when I hear Elon Musk talk about it. One thing that he's said before, he's said it many times, is the way that we communicate. I'll be able to send a message to you and you'll understand directly the message.
Yeah.
In my mind, that is an anti-human idea. And this is why. Because the reason art works, the reason comedy works, the reason anything works is because there's something that's lost in translation. Sure. There's something that's not said. There's something that's meant for you to interpret. So if I'm directly sending shit to you from my brain, that is theoretically different than if I am taking the time to translate my thoughts into words and then parsing that into something else. That is just different than what he's talking about. And I get so mad because I don't see anybody say this, but like in my mind, that is the human, like you're taking that out of humans. Can you imagine if we had 2 people in this room who were like brain hooked up and they were talking to each other saying shit that we didn't know what the fuck they were saying?
But you don't think... I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It drives me nuts.
Interpretation, totally.
Yeah.
But you don't think that when it communicates, however it communicates, is still going to be interpreted on the back end differently?
It would be fundamentally different because think about it. If I'm rapping, if I'm like saying a joke, it's just you're not going to be able to conduct the same thing tonally. It's going to be different. There's no way I would believe it's going to be the same
I'm 100%
experience.
there with you.
Yeah.
But for the example of like where I'm coming from, where I think it's all front end development still, how it's being transferred. It's like I could write a note to you on a blackboard and you read it.
But that's not what Elon's saying.
I know. But then I could text it to you and you could read it. I could call you and you could hear it, or I could say it to you face to face. That's 4 different examples of the same information being processed to you. Mm-hmm. So what about telepathy of me instantly just telling you that note?
It's not the same.
Okay.
Because
my whole thing is you're still going to have to interpret it after the information is shot to you.
I guess what I think, just on a fundamental level, is that there's a certain messiness about communication that is human, that is meant to be experienced, that creates a reality. Like the fact that that's why I like doing the podcast in person, because if it's human in person, you're going to get a different energy no matter what. And I just think if we introduce this digital aspect, well, then that's going to just create something weird. I don't know what it is that it's going to create, but it's going to be different.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down all the way now, because I'm like, I still think it's going to be interpreted by a person, and communication's not going to be like a Borg. Like, we won't be a collective no matter what, unless we truly do become a collective.
Which would be nuts. We're all just hooked up to the internet.
Yo, let's do it. Let's go. Let's become what? Eukaryotic? Or who knows? I don't know. What?
That's a 5-star word right there. I think you're right.
No,
it's like a one-cell organism, though? We're all just one.
I think so, but I'm still not quite there. I'm like, what is a collective called? The bugs from Starship Troopers. They are a hive mind.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, perhaps we become that.
I mean, sort of. If we're all hooked up to the internet, you sort of just naturally become that.
Well, I think we're seeing a low-level tier 0 humanity version of that.
Oh, we're already kind of there.
Yeah. But I'm like, okay. If we were all chipped in and I could see it. You know, I think of Brave New World a lot.
Yeah. Brave New World is, I think we're closer to Brave New World than 1984. If you were to compare the two, I think it's a mixture of both. And I think what's so interesting about it, I have the book out there. I haven't finished it yet, but Brave New World Revisited. Have you read that?
No.
It's interesting because it's written by, remind me, the guy who wrote Brave New World, Aldous Huxley.
Aldous Huxley, yeah.
Excuse me. So the Brave New World Revisited is him revisiting the concept of Brave New World about 20 or 30 years later, and talking about how those ideas are all coming true and everything he predicted in Brave New World. So he's actually addressing it all literally and talking about how the world is going that way. Yeah. And this was written in like the 60s or 70s when he wrote Brave New World Revisited.
Brother, the mind-altering drugs, and I'm not against... Well, yeah, I'm not against people getting drugs for mental health needs or crisis or this, that, or the other thing, but recreational use of barbiturates and benzodiazepines and alcohol and marijuana, I'm like, we're kind of making our own soma at this point. And then easily accessible entertainment kind of being soma. Yeah. The government being like, don't worry about it, we got you. Also keeping people just struggling enough that they can never quite rise up.
I mean, okay, so spoiler alert for Brave New World, but one of the things that I think is just so interesting about it is, so it's written pre-Hitler. So what's interesting about it is...
You're talking about original Brave New World.
Brave New World, yeah. Okay. It's written pre-Hitler, and that's why 1984 is the dystopian novel that it is, because it's post-Hitler. So it's once the world saw what that could be. But Brave New World is before the world saw Hitler before, so we didn't know what that was. And in the book, you realize that the government doesn't have to control these people. No. They just go with it. That's the big thing is, no, you don't understand. They like this. They would rather exist in this world we've created for them. And we just can string them along, but it's not stringing them along. They want this. Well, they consent to it. And I think that's actually closer to what we're in. We're not in this world where we're nailed down by force. We're in this world where we all just kind of consent to the reality we're in, when we're obviously being gaslit at the same time.
Sure. Yeah, man. And I think one of the reasons, like, it's inherently beautifully entrenched in us as folk is, like, to seek out the easiest way to get to comfort. Because life is chaos. Yeah. It's tough. Yeah. Your body wants to be comfortable. That's homeostasis. Any kind of struggle throws you off that. And then it takes a level of understanding and self-awareness to understand that struggle or discomfort is in fact a good thing. I think that's how you get all the pseudo alpha bros out there with, they're like, you gotta go fucking stay hard and get in the ice bath, like you gotta get that struggle. And I'm like, it's kind of nerdy in its own world, but I'm like, I think the message there is still genuine, where it's like, yeah, total and utter comfort all the time is its own prison.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, yeah, in Brave New World, it's like, yeah, you get the soma. Yeah, man, I don't care what's going on. I'm comfortable. And I don't blame people for seeking out and or enjoying and wanting to stay in comfort. The only time it becomes like blamable is if in that comfort you want stuff to change.
Yeah.
Like, well, then you got to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It'll happen because at a certain point, comfort, I don't know, complacency takes over. And I think you're seeing it in our society now. We were talking about it off mic before we got going. It's like, yeah, man, revolution happens when it's like, oh, man, now even being comfortable is kind of tough. Like you're losing the masses because the masses are no longer easily comfortable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and
I don't want to go stale on this, but, you know.
Well, I was just going to say, so when I read Brave New World, I wrote like a whole song. So it's called Forever Never After is the name of the song.
Forever Never?
Forever Never After.
Okay.
And like the angle I went with the cover art is it's like Cinderella's shoe. So it's like Cinderella's, what do you call it, high heel?
Yeah.
But it's on fire. So it's Cinderella's high heel on fire. Okay. Forever Never After. And it was right after I had read Brave New World, and it was the hook that I heard first because I was listening to the beat, and it's like, you don't really want to dream forever, so you don't really want to dream forever. And then how does that apply?
You sing good.
Oh, thank you.
That's good.
That was my voice, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was...
Are you out there? Are you out there to be listened to? Can I find you?
Yes, dude. I'm on all streaming services. You can find me everywhere. Ruse Official. I've got business cards. I'll give you one on the way out. But right. Ruse Radio. This podcast is all like... At first, when I started doing interviews, when I started doing anything, it was all like, oh, I'm doing music. This would be smart for me to do as well. Yeah. And then it's just blossomed into its own thing.
That's cool, man.
Music is where my talent lies.
You just out here just sneaking that in, though.
So this is the verse. This is the verse. Because the verse applies to what we're talking about. I wouldn't shoehorn it in otherwise.
No, I like it.
All right, so here's how it goes.
I was just like, dog, you can't sneak in. I was like, oh, we're getting a little serenade. I like it. All right.
Here we go. Alarm ringing, birds start singing. Just another day on the earth start swinging. What you wanna be, the bees will keep stinging. The birds will keep chirping, the mud will start flinging. But you are not a constant. God, give me love, give me life, give me conscience. God, give me up, get me right, get me progress. Get me in the mood to infuse with the process. I've been feeling out of sorts, I've been feeling stuck. Down, something's not accounted for. Feet is in the muck, now luck is in the buck. Now buck is hard to catch. Funny how my heart and my mind going fetch. Funny how it's hard to rewind, going flex. See my head's real large, so I always know it's next. Drew me to the arts, now I coalesce. I'm a giant in the stars, Orion over breath, defying over everything. Therein lies dilemma. Soma in the coma, a pariah in the center. I'm alive within forever, died in the now, droning in the moment, feeling time fizzle out. Karma called the cops, tell them you have got the perp. That's a wake-up call, baby, what I have earned. I used to want to dream, now I want to live. Solitary murder, a mistake I forgive. And then
dog,
thank you.
That was incredible. I got a little bit of goosebumps.
Thank you.
That was a great reference. The flow is incredible, by the way.
That's what
Are you?
That's what I actually do. That's the thing I actually do.
Well, first of all, you're good at it. I got to see it firsthand. I was like, God damn, dude. If I don't know if you're, if I was a heterosexual lady, I'd be like, yeah, it did it for me.
Are you watching this, heterosexual ladies?
All right, well, don't do that. You don't got to break the fourth wall for them. They'll come to you if you just do that song.
I'm waiting for them to come to me, dude.
Are you a Mac Miller inspired? Or
you know what's funny is I discovered Mac Miller around like 2017, 20, like right around when he passed away, probably right before.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like I was one of those people that said, oh, right when he passed away, I hopped in the bandwagon. I think it was right before, and then it was one of those, oh, damn situations. I just found this guy, he died. But it was funny because I identified so much with what he does.
Yeah.
Like, especially his later stuff.
Well,
I think the way he was leaning into.
Who kind of inspired you or... when you were listening to Who Crafted Your Form and Voice?
I would say
we'll get back to the Soma talk here in a sec, but it was like, dog, you can't just like bust out another talent like that and then not have me immediately curious about that. That's fucking incredible.
That's how I like to do it, by the way. I like to just bust it out of nowhere.
Damn, dude, I probably am not going to tell you a joke on this podcast because I just don't trust my humor, but god damn it. All right.
It's like the perfect secret weapon because no one ever sees that type of thing coming.
Yeah,
they're always
Jesus.
like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That was unassuming as fuck, dog. Your voice changed in front of me. Concerning. I'm like, okay. Damn. I'm this many years old. I'm like, well, that's a new thing, huh?
Yeah, and
that's close to magic. I just saw a guy do. So, what?
I have professional mind blower T-shirts. I call myself a professional mind blower for this reason. Yeah. I have this effect on people that you're witnessing.
The doors on the hinges still, but it was good.
Yeah,
I was like,
magic. Well, I like that magic. It's akin to. I think it is if you do it right, and I think that's. I like to say because I just know this about myself. I know it's egotistical, but I get away with things because I'm talented. I am able to get away with it. It's the reason that I'm able to I have a podcast with comedians, but I've also performed at comedy shows. Yeah. You can't do that if you're not talented. Sure. They don't want you to go up there and rap if you're a bad rapper.
Oh, I was going to say, I've seen plenty of bad comedians. Those are you can get
bad comedians, you can do it, but bad music you're not even a comedian and you're coming here and doing your no.
You'll get booed pretty quick.
But you can get away with it if you're good. And it's like honestly, it's the line I love to ride.
Now I'm terrified that if you get that $1 billion. Now I'm like, oh no, he is going to do Diddy stuff.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, no. For your sake, I hope you really medium out.
I said it myself. I shouldn't get the $1 billion. No, I actually hope I don't.
Yeah.
But inspirations. You asked me inspirations.
Yeah.
I would say I heard a lot of Eminem when I was younger.
Okay.
Just non-advertently. I wasn't seeking it out. It was just there.
Yeah.
But then I did end up listening to, I want to say on my little iPod that I had before. It was like pre-iPod. It was when you still had to get a little MP3 player. And you downloaded MP3 files onto it through plugging it in. It didn't even have an SD card you could take out. You had to plug it into the computer.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a bunch of I think I had Lonely Island on there. I had Eminem.
Oh, shit.
What other stuff did I listen to
Lonely
way
Island's
back then?
Real good.
Listened to Watsky back then a lot.
Okay.
If you know Watsky.
I don't.
Tech Nine I listened to when I was younger.
Tech Nine.
It's Assess Crew I listened to. They're on the same label as Tech Nine.
Okay, that didn't come through as much.
Well, the thing is, 21 Pilots I listened to. I think my performance style.
You know what?
Yeah.
When they do their breakdowns, now I get it.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. This is why I almost don't even like revealing inspirations because then people start to go,
no, it's a good thing.
It is good.
It's still very much an amalgamation of them all.
It's nothing. Well, what I like about what I do, because I think I'm good at doing things that's kind of a blend of different things all at once.
Yeah.
If you're really distinctive, that's usually what you end up being. You end up being like, oh, I can see he's kind of like this, and he's kind of like this, and he's kind of like this.
Well, you take from a lot of inspirations.
Yeah. But you're not one of them.
Right.
You can't be one of them.
At certain points, you might sound like more than another, but eventually you become your own thing.
It's finding your voice. It's the whole thing.
But, brother, if I told you the 5 comedians that heavily influenced my stand-up, and then if you knew who they were and then watched my stand-up, you'd do the same fucking thing.
Exactly.
Go, yeah.
I think Eminem is, or Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Bandwagon. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think I listened to him until 2013, right after To Pimp a Butterfly. But I started rapping around that same time, so I don't know how much I'm influenced by him. I really can't say. But I take it as a compliment when people compare me to things. I think it's a compliment because you'll see people say oh, you're ripping off so-and-so. And I think that's a good... If you think I sound like Eminem or Kendrick Lamar, that is a high compliment. If you think I'm actually close.
Sounding like them is fine. I think ripping off is when you go out of your way to almost do an impression.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's tons of that.
As a white rapper, though, it gets unbearable, the amount of M&Ms you'll hear.
I'm sure, yeah.
Everybody still says Eminem. It'll never go away.
You talk about the brutal nature of getting into stand-up. I'm sure the come-up for music, specifically rap, and or professional wrestlers, porn stars, any one of these crafts where you're really putting yourself out in a vulnerable way, I'm like, yeah, it's a brutal come up. Dude.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
I should say here too that the way that I've managed to get away with rapping at comedy is I went to, are you familiar with Power Hour? You probably
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so they have freestyling there. So I went to Power Hour. I've probably been there. I can't even count on more than one hand how many times I've been there. But I've had some legendary Power Hour experiences, some legendary appearances at Power Hour.
Okay.
The people love me there. And Courtney Peterson, she used to manage that. Now she manages Roast Battle. So when she went to Roast Battle, she had the beautiful idea of taking what I did at Power Hour and having me do it at Roast Battle. And what I did at Power Hour was I took everything the comics said over the last hour and a half of the open mic
and turned it into a freestyle.
There you go.
There you go.
And
that's
then
awesome.
Yeah, you can take that anywhere.
You
and
could be Chicago's Crack-A-Mika. Do you know? Are you familiar?
I know
with
Harry Mack. I don't know about Crack-A-Mika.
No, Crack-A-Mika is he's one of the musical enforcers of comedy. He did a song called Two Bears, One Grave that went pretty viral, taking down
I'm
Tom
probably
Segura.
familiar if he's that popular.
I don't know if he's super popular, but that song did go viral amongst the stand-up world.
Okay.
Joke world knows about him, so it's like, yeah.
Well, and I'm learning, I think there's so much crossover with that idea. You can make that idea work, and in a comedy audience, and the comedians, they all like it if you execute it right, because the ideas behind it aren't that different. The whole freestyling and improv and joking and callbacks.
Yeah,
if the whole thing's
it's
callbacks.
also attention to what they said, which as a comedian, our beaks are so dry, and that attention, it wets our beaks.
And you know what's so great about it to me? Every time I've done it, you'd be surprised how much audiences remember. So I bet the comedians, every time I repeat their punchline,
we gotta be kinder to audiences.
No, dude, no. I'm saying random shit. Like it'll be, because I try to, at least when I'm writing down the little bullet points, I try to think, okay, that was a notable punchline. That was a notable punchline. But sometimes I'm thinking they're gonna know most of what I'm saying, but they might miss one or two. No, every single callback an audience is gonna remember. They remember everything. Yeah. They actually are. They're super smart.
Yeah.
So I mean, my point is the opposite. They're geniuses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for a crowd to really laugh, they have to understand what the fuck you're saying, or you're being so absurd that you've broken them.
But you know what's interesting, though, is that if I'm doing this 2 hours into a show, I'm talking they remember stuff from an hour and a half ago. Yeah. They remember all of it. Yeah. It's all still in their head. Yeah. So it's not just the stuff they heard 5 minutes, 10 minutes before.
And direct recall, even if they're not actively remembering it, it's still up there because it just happened.
It's somewhere in their head.
Yeah, man. That's awesome, though. I look forward to seeing you live.
You know what? You said magic. It is a magic trick. Yeah. To do it right is kind of a magic trick.
I think so.
They all go, ah!
Yeah, man. Logic. I mean, I think language is one of the closer things we have to real life magic.
Yes.
Where it's like, all right.
And I think comedy is doing a similar thing where it's all about using language and wrangling it and getting people to react. I think a rapper, a comedian, a songwriter, a poet, you're just finding ways to string words together.
I would say, the one thing about comedy is I just want to make people laugh with the words.
With the words.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? That's the infinite mystery.
Figure it out. Yeah. Some people never do, but they end up with Netflix specials.
I think about it like you never figured out, though. Like, even if you think you figured it out, and that's that beautiful thing, is learning to hate everything, learning to look back at everything you've done and be like, oh, I thought I had it figured out, but I didn't, because you've done it for 11 years. I've done music for about 13 years now. Okay. I started making music when I was about 13 years old in 2012. So there you go. Maybe if I got the math correct, something like that. But 2012 for sure. Yeah. And there you go. It's like you do something long enough, you learn to look back at everything and just go, oh, that was good. There's promise in that. You don't hate it, but you just see everything wrong with it.
Sure. And keeping a progressing mindset.
That's what I always say.
You're always going to want to get better. So when you look back at where you were, your taste has gotten better. Your skills have gotten better. The one thing, actually, maybe your taste didn't get better. Your taste is your taste. But it's like, that's the thing you have in common with that past self.
Yeah.
Is you're like, I wanted to do this and I got here.
What I always say about it is kind of that. It's like, if you can see that, then that's what matters. If it's the fact that you have taste and you can see the difference. That's what matters. Not that you did something wrong, but that you've grown and
gotten
you can
better. Hopefully you've gotten better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The sad one is when, oh no, I was better. When I look back, I was better. I don't know where I'm at now. I've heard that one once or twice, and that's a hard one. No, it's like, I don't know what advice to tell you, brother.
I'll tell you right now.
Got to change that trajectory.
It's not linear.
It's not linear.
I would say moving here, I've probably regressed a little bit.
And we all do in different ways.
Just because moving, new scene, figuring out how to do comedy, but it's like a lot of times when you regress or break what you're doing, it's to restructure and galvanize in a better way. At least I hope so. Because it's like, I don't think I've regressed in understanding. I've just regressed in performing. And it's like, all right, that's fine. You'll have good years, bad years, inspired times, corporate kind of inspired times, and it's like, all right, we'll figure it out. But no, man, that's wildly impressive. And now I'm like, oh man, I'll look forward to some Ruse stuff on the way home, and I'm happy to have you as adjacent to the comedy scene.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what music does for you, because buddy, I want to see your infinity pool. I want to see what you do with the billion. Be like, that's cool producers. That a friend? You'd be like, no, I don't have friends anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If I'm doing a podcast forever, I think I'm always going to have friends. I think I can't stop having friends.
You say that with a fluttery eye. Well, I'm coming up on needing to piss again. Should we probably...
That's a good spot to wrap. But what I always do at the very end of this program is two things. Okay. One, you got to give a message to the kids at home. The kids on the bus. The kids on the school bus, they've been listening to this podcast. They've heard us be really smart, and now they need some final wisdom, a nugget of knowledge to take home and use, some actionable stuff that they can use in their real life, the real world, something that you can change their life with. You're a smart guy, and you can give them something good. You said you're at the middle of that bell curve. Well, that means you've got infinite wisdom, an infinity pool of wisdom inside of your brain. And also, second, most importantly, very important, you got to give them the social media. They've spent all this time with you. They've wasted 2 hours. They at least need to know where they can waste more time. So give them that. The floor is yours. All
right, shameless plugs up front. Just on all the social medias, my name, just Louis D. Michael. So LOUISD MICHAEL.
Louis or Louis?
People call me Louis, but it's spelled the French way. But just, Louis D. Michael or Louis D. Michael, but LOUISD MICHAEL. I have other creative projects, but you'll find those if you follow me on the regular ones. So yeah, and then that's the best way to help a comic right now is if you like what we're doing, follow us and share it. If you don't, that's also equally helpful because it keeps us going.
And if you can, come out to shows, of course. Any form of support means the world. Yeah. You have no idea.
It does, yeah. Live performances. I will say this, not even just for me, if you're a listener to this podcast and you like stand-up, go see how the sausage is made. Go out to a local open mic. And if you thought you saw some stuff at a paid show, you're like, I don't know about this. The open mics are all over the place. You'll see some of the funniest shit that may never make it to a main stage, and you'll see some atrocious stuff that you would never believe. And that in itself, some people go to hate watch. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but just go check one out. It's kind of wild. And stay to the end. It's wild. Just one time in your life, and then never torture yourself again. And for the kids on the bus, or anybody listening to this, my like one thing being, I love playing in the world of irony and doing jokes and whatnot, but when it comes down to like getting work done, be an actual tryhard, like actually put everything into what you want to do, and be sincere about it as well when you're trying to do something. When it's time to perform however you want, but when you're not, talking about lying to yourself, like that's not great. So it's like actually be a tryhard, be sincere, put in the hard work. Maybe you don't get superstar status, but you will get better if you do that. And I'm saying that to myself right now. Maybe I hear this clip and it's like, yeah, but it's like, no, put in the work, be honest about it, be self-critical, but not to the point where it's a detriment, and just be sincere in your actions, whatever you're doing. And I'll tell you this much, being kind and trying your best not to be an asshole in all walks of life will probably take you pretty far as well.
Yes.
So if you can be agreeable, do that as well. But if not, I don't know. There's a time to be an ass, but not always. So that's it.
Reality is a chain reaction, boys and girls. Sincerity breeds sincerity.
Sure.
And you lead by example.
Sure.
And I hope you're listening there on the school bus. That's all, folks. Here on Ruse Radio.
Change gears, dude. You change gears. He redlined it.
Clocking out. Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a bad